Okie dokie, boys and girls. So, yesterday I made a video about a short and effective front lever workout. And today I was thinking to myself, it's a push day. I don't have a lot of time. What the hell should I do? And then it came to me, that front lever workout that I showed yesterday, I actually did it for push as well. For a long time, all the way in the beginning. It's the way I unlocked the planche. I unlocked the planche and front lever by doing those 5 sets of tuck front lever pull-ups and advanced or tuck planche push-ups, right? And then doing some attempts of the holds afterwards. And I don't know why, but like sometimes you just have some good workout and you stop doing it, like without any thought or reason behind it. And I think the planche push-up workout is one of those workouts for me. Like today, I'm just gonna do that. Like it's the workout I used to unlock the planche. Perhaps it can be the workout to unlock the 20-second planche for me, So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 5 sets and I'm gonna take 5. Yeah, I'm gonna start with 5 reps. Perhaps I can do 8 reps in Japan or something. But I'm just gonna start light today with 5 reps and I'm gonna pause in between each rep with a bit of a hold. But basically, I'm gonna do push-ups in a difficulty that I'm capable of doing, but not killing myself. And if I feel that it gets too difficult, I will drop the difficulty or I will take a bit of a rest pause, So I might start out doing the full planche for a couple reps. And probably I don't even get that for 5 reps, to be honest. But then, I drop down to straddle and tuck planche and stuff like that. So yeah, that seems very fun, time efficient, and basically everything that I need today. I am running into a bit of an issue at the moment because aside from the time, I'm a bit sleep deprived, and it's quite funny. So this night, yesterday night when I went to sleep, I woke up at like 3 a.m. and I heard some strange noises, and I thought I was being broken into, in my house or my apartment. And I went downstairs and the door was open. I think the fucking neighbor's cat, the brown cat, I think the motherfucker broke into my house. Like he owns the place. So I left the window open or the door open, and there's like this net to keep flies and stuff away. And that was closed, but I think he just fucking opened it. Yeah, so in the middle of the night, I had to go check on that, and then I had to go back, and now there were fucking mosquitoes in my room. So I spent half an hour, slamming mosquitoes before going to bed. So not too energized today, but hey, some circumstances you cannot control. You just make the best of what you have. So I'm gonna go outside, do my warm-up set, and then get into the 5 sets of planche push-ups. Let's go. All right, let's get to the first set. All right, that's set number 1. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to do this for 4 more sets, but as we go along, I'll do maybe a rest pause, a short 10-second break in between reps. I'll drop down to easier progressions. And yes, this training is quite intense, but I talked about upping the frequency in planche. I will not do this training every day, of course. I'm gonna have to recover from this training for quite a while, and in between I'll just do lighter trainings. And well, I'm kind of in a weird situation. I'll be going to Japan, so I have 2 days rest, but minus 7 hours because of the time difference before hitting a workout with some friends. So I have some time to recover. That's why I can handle the training right now, because I won't be able to train planche very well in between today's session and the session with my Japanese friends. But let's go to set number 2. All right, Okay, 3 sets done. The push-ups are going quite well. They feel heavy, but I feel tired. That's normal. But in these final 2 sets, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a bit of a superset. I'm gonna do my push-ups and then do a bit of a hold or a dynamic hold, going into the position of planche for reps with a bit of momentum. But just something that will strengthen my straight arm position so that I can translate this power that I'm working, into power for the hold as well. Because if I only do push-ups, I'll get strong at only the push-ups. But if I do the push-ups and then have a bit of an accessory work where I also do holds, that power of the push-ups will also translate into holds, and that's what I'm aiming for. So last 2 sets of push-ups with a superset, and then I'll maybe do something else as well, but we'll see. All right, I'm gonna do one more set, aiming for 20 seconds of hold in total. That number is not chosen by coincidence. It's my goal amount of seconds to hold the full planche. If I get to 5 seconds now in full planche, I'll be happy already, but I'm just gonna drop it into straddle and into tuck planche to get to those 20 seconds of total hold. And that will be a good finisher for today's workout before doing some accessories. Okay, so the planche workout itself is done, but hold your horses. There is a couple things I have to mention. So, first of all, if you want to adjust this workout for your level, right? Of course, you're not going to do full planche and straddle planche. Use the different progressions. Lean planche, especially if you're a beginner, right? Because you can adjust the intensity however you want. If you lean more, it becomes more difficult. If you lean less, it becomes less difficult. So everyone can do a lean planche. If you have 10 push-ups, you're good to go. You can start this workout. It's not that difficult. And then as you grow stronger, lean planche becomes a tuck planche or an advanced tuck planche or a one-legged planche, and then eventually straddle and then full. Now, at some point, these progressions, their difficulty increases in quite big gaps, So you might be struggling to go from advanced tuck to the straddle planche. And in that case, what you can do is in the later hold sets that you're doing, right? Do the dynamic holds, go into the straddle planche for reps, go into your next progression for reps, even if it's only a moment, right? Try to get there and try to get a few repetitions, 3 reps, 5 reps, maybe even 8 reps, right? Just trying to hit that position and trying to hold it each time is going to get you there eventually. But also, progressions are not the only progression. I mentioned this yesterday as well, right? You can also add weight to your current progression. You can also add assistance for your next progression with a band or something, right? You can use one of these bad boys, hang them up, put them around your body and provide yourself with some assistance to do the next progression. And by even combining those things, using weight and assistance, you can really adjust the difficulty in small margins and progress that way. So that's important. Progressions are not the only progression. That's very important. So Now, when I started training calisthenics, this was the only thing I did for my planche workout, Twice, 3 or 2 times a week, I would do this. Like on Wednesday, I only had a half day of school, so in the afternoon I would do it. And then in the weekends, once or twice, I would do it as well. And that was the only workout. 5 sets of planche push-ups, and then usually 3 sets of holds or hold attempts or those dynamic holds, right? That's what I was doing. And that's how I got all the way up to the full planche, Maybe some attempts in between as well at home, but basically, everything I did up until that point, or 90% of it, was in the park doing this workout. Now, does that mean that the workout is perfect? No. I think there are a couple of things that could be improved. One of them being accessories. Now, you've seen me do planche forearm accessories with the weight. Now, since I'm heading into Japan, I also realized you don't always have weight at your disposal. So what you can do instead is take a band, right? You put it under your feet and you take it in your hands, right? Like this, and you stand up and you straighten it. And now you can do 3 movements. You can do your wrist curl like this. You can also take the band, in your palm in the other direction and do this one. This is the hammer curl. You see? My wrists are moving in the same direction. And then finally, I have to re-grip again. You have, for the inside of your forearm, the chicken wing, you can do these curls upwards with the band, And I don't like it as much as weighted stuff because you cannot really guess how much weight you're doing. You can kind of gauge it, but you don't know for sure, right? So maybe one day you're doing less than the other. Well, if you do weights, you can gauge how much weight you're doing. You can track your progression, but if you don't have any other options, don't let perfect get in the way of good, right? It's still a good workout to do your accessories like this. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. And first couple sets of this, then I'll talk about some more points of the workout. All right, a couple sets of that, and then maybe some stretching, some light stretching to end it off, to get the blood flowing properly again. It's also going to be useful. It's going to prevent injury. I used to get injured in the planche, really often, but ever since I started doing these kind of forearm things, these trainings, right, on a regular basis last year, I haven't gotten injured anymore because my forearms are now strong enough. Usually when you only train the planche itself and not forearm accessories, you're likely to, have your forearms be lacking a little bit, to get them behind a little bit behind your body. You grow stronger, but your tendons are behind. And if you do these forearm trainings, right, your tendons will stay primed, will stay strong, will keep being in front of your shoulder strength, and that will prevent the injury. Anyway, let's sit down and discuss some more points. Okie dokie, boys and girls. So let's talk about the efficiency of this workout, because while it is true that 90% of my training up until full planche was this exact workout, it took me 3 months to get started. I only did this workout. Then after another 3 months of training, only this workout, I did some full planche attempts for a month and then I achieved it. So basically this workout got me to full planche in 7 months, which is good, But does that mean that this workout is the most efficient, science-based whatever workout ever? No, it's just a workout of a beginner, me, 16 years old, who just happened to be doing it, doing whatever the fuck felt good. And the fact that when I was 16 years old, I was 168 centimeters like I am now, which is 5'6", but also I only weighed 50, 55 maybe, and not even that, kilos, which is 110 pounds. That helped a lot. Trust me, okay, I'm bulking, but I'm not delusional. If you get heavier, the planche becomes more difficult. So if you are heavier than 50 kilos, it will be harder than it was for me at the time. like I don't deny that. Like I truly believe heavier people have a harder time. I just also believe that if you put on weight, you can still overcome that difficulty factor, especially if you're putting on muscle, right? I still think that you can achieve the planche and get stronger at the planche or whatever skill in calisthenics at a heavier body weight while increasing your body weight. That's kind of what I'm doing with this build, but that's besides the point. So that workout, maybe it's not the most efficient, but it works. It worked for me. I think it can work for basically anyone. It worked for people that I coached as well. And if there is something that I would change about it, like if you notice the workout, it's quite intense. Most of the sets are intense. If I would, get the full planche again right now, I would add some sets that are less intense. I would maybe add some more grease the groove in between workouts. I would maybe spread this workout itself maybe once a week, right? Maybe twice a week at most, not 3 times a week, because I feel like that might be just too much. I would rather do this workout a bit less, once or twice a week, like every 4 days, let's say, and then in between do some attempts of the full planche at a like lower intensity, or do some lower intensity workouts in general. I think that would be like efficient, because at the moment what I'm doing, or what my planche training has always been, is like 80% intense work and then 20% of like attempts in between that I was just doing in between workouts because I was so excited to do calisthenics and I wanted to attempt everything all the time. And while that did work, especially for the full bench, like the grease the groove style, which I was doing subconsciously, it does work. But like training at that intensity all the time, it might not be the best idea, because for me, I was 16 years old, I was in puberty, I was recovering very fast. If I, train like this every time right now, especially at a higher body weight, the pressure on my joints and my ligaments is way higher. So it's going to be difficult to recover from that. And I think that's something you have to consider. So if you start training, right, make sure you start doing the high intensity stuff like this at a lower frequency. And then from there, you can try and increase it. And if it gives you gains, great, keep doing it. But if not, don't be afraid to scale it back and add more low intensity stuff in between. That's what I would change if I were to do it all again at my current body weight. So yeah, that's it for today's training. I hope you took away something from it. And basically now I'm going to have a shower and some breakfast. See you tomorrow for a leg day, a mini leg day, because I also have to get ready to leave for Japan. Exciting.